Okay.
Okay. Continue. So I will, let me see. Oh man, I did that. I just gave it permission to track everything I do on this.
What?
Fine. Nothing. Okay, so yeah, applies to remind yourself later. Oh yeah. Yeah, I think you got to do it within
What?
this app. I mean the recording part. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Okay. But you can edit through that?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because it says you can add flags to remind yourself later of parts you want to edit. And then an interlude. So if you want to stop to do an ad and then pick back up, which I don't want to do. I don't want to do ads in the middle of it.
No.
So now I need to figure out the best. Um,
I'm gonna need a lot more wine.
I'm just gonna sit it here. Done is better than perfect, right? I'm just gonna put it right here, and whatever it picks up,
Mhm.
right? It's gonna be good.
Yeah, it is.
No, more about. At least we're putting ourselves out there.
We're putting us out. There.
All the way.
We're going all the way with this.
Yeah, we are. It's gonna be good. Okay. All right.
Okay, let's go.
Let's
5,
go.
4, 3, 2.
Hi, friends. Welcome to our first episode of Growing Pains podcast. I'm Crystal, your co host, and my partner in crime is Sandy Malarkey. I'll let you go first. Give us a sneak peek inside Miss Sandy.
Hi, friends. So I am Northwest born and raised, and born in Mount Lake Terrace, a suburb of Seattle, north side of Seattle. I was born into a family with an older sister. So it was just the two of us growing up. We enjoyed a fun life of boating in the Northwest, and um, just had a fun life. I had grew up and went to school in, like I said, Mount Lake Terrace, and I graduated from there. Met my husband soon after I graduated, about a year after I graduated from high school, and married him 6 years later. It took him a long time to propose, but he finally got around to it. But yeah, we dated for 6 years, got married, and I was working as a dental assistant in Seattle, worked downtown, and my husband was a food and beverage director of hotels. And one day he came to me and said, "You know what? I don't like this life. I think we should go um, explore something else." So we moved to Tucson, Arizona, and he went to school at U of A and went to school for racetrack management with horse racing. And so that took us around the Southwest. We went from Tucson to Amarillo, Texas. We were there for 6 years. We had two babies born there. Um, and then we moved from there, went to Phoenix, Arizona. He worked at a racetrack there, then went to the whole management team. After 6 months, we were living in Arizona, moved to Los Angeles. And so we moved with two babies to Los Angeles, and he worked for Santa Anita, and we lived there. And my third son was born there, and we lived in California for 2.5 years. I loved it there. It was great. And then he had another drug. Well, actually 9/11 hit, and that was rough for all of us, of course. And I had 3 babies, and we were in the big city, and this job opportunity came up to go to Ruidoso, New Mexico. And the only reason I knew of Ruidoso, New Mexico, is we had gone there when has a racetrack, and we had gone there when we lived in Amarillo. And so we made a big move and ended up in the mountain town of Ruidoso, New Mexico, where I met Crystal.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell us about how you got there?
You were never the same after.
No, never.
So I was born in Fort Worth, Texas. I was born to Mr. and Mrs. Kidd, and I have one brother, Joseph Kidd, and we were born on the same day. It was the same birthday, which leads to a common denominator in my family. I married pretty young. I was barely 20, maybe 2 months. I had turned 20 for I was 20 for 2 months. So we lived in Arlington, Texas. We were married for a couple of years, decided to have a baby. I had my now almost 22-year-old. And then we decided to move. We didn't have a job. We didn't have a job offer. We'd only been there one other time to visit. So we decided at the ripe age of 22 to take off to the mountains. And the day we moved, I found out I was pregnant with Carson, my now 19-year-old. So we took off. I didn't have a doctor. We didn't have a job. We had a rental house that we locked in, but that was pretty much it. So we took a leap of faith. We took off for the mountains. He wanted to be a home builder. So that's what we did. We did, and we left there. Well, headed out, and he went to school. He got his license it took about 6 weeks to get that license done. In the meantime, I had to figure out a doctor, and anyway, I had never lived too far from home. I'd never left the state, so it was quite an adjustment. But that led me to, of course, we found the church, and then we got some friends, and then that's where I met Sandy. So it came, I think how we met was
At church.
was it church or was it a scrapbooking? So back in the day, we used to get together once a week, or we did anyway, and scrapbook. This was a thing that
Stay-at-home moms did.
moms did. Yeah, get these books of these very pretty paper, and you would get stickers, and you would get scissors, and you'd get all your pictures developed, and then you would get together and put all these pictures in the books to talk about. It would be a memory book. But I do remember scrapbooking with you, so I don't.
Yeah, because I was invited to go, because you used to go at Joanne's house, and I was invited. They felt sorry for me in the new role, and so they invited me over, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't even know what to do. I'm grabbing whatever kind of scrapbook thing I can grab.
No.
Oh, I have a book I started for Mickey. Let me get that in here.
For anybody that has never been to this little town, Ruidoso, New Mexico, they call it the village of Ruidoso. And that is because it literally is a village. You can't just run to Michael's or Hobby Lobby.
Oh no, you have Walmart. Walmart is it.
And one that wasn't great. We had to go an hour and a half to go to Target.
Yeah.
Remember? And we would spend all day. We'd make it a day trip to Sam's. So scrapbooking. So to go get supplies, you either had to already have it or, borrow from a friend.
Yeah, that's what we did.
I
just took marker. I just took marker and
some tape happened because friend. That's how I was. I was like, whatever. I just need friends. This area. So was it church? In church?
I don't know what happened, but you froze.
Oh.
Okay, so anyways, yeah, you're back. Technology issues.
Was it church? Did we meet at church?
So
You probably remember this better than I do.
I remember meeting you at church and you invited us to dinner. Because Chris, a mutual friend of ours, had invited me. I knew her from school. Our kids went to kindergarten together, Riley
Mhm.
and Mickey. And so she, and we were new. We moved there in October.
Yeah,
And
you moved
so,
Halloween.
yeah,
Was here.
yeah.
Same
So,
thing as- Oh no, it wasn't. It wasn't 9/11. We moved. Carson was a baby in 9/11, so it was the year. So 2000.
yeah, we moved in 2001.
Yeah. Okay.
We were a year after you. And so we moved October of 2001. And Joey was not quite a year old. So he was, but our two, so anyway, Sarah, we met through kindergarten and she said, "Hey, what church do you go to?" And I'm like, "Well, we've been really struggling. We've been trying to find a church." And
And there
um,
were 3 in town.
yeah, well, there was a lot of churches. I mean, we went to the
Where was
Catholic Church, we went to the first Christian church, and we went to the Baptist church, and um, we were just kind of not finding the right fit. And so she said, "Hey, come to the Church of Christ." And I'm like, "Church of Christ? Wow, I don't know that I've ever been to. No, that aren't they kind of, I thought they were pretty um, had some strange practices. They kind of scared me a bit." She goes, "Oh, no, no, just try it." So we ended up going, and it was not, the
Right.
pastor Jimmy said, "This is not your father's Oldsmobile. This is not your typical Church of Christ." And they had the potlucks, and I'm like, "What is this place?" It's like the family, a big family. And then we met you two there, and you had invited us to dinner. So that's how we really got to be friends. So you invited us over, and I remember thinking your little house was just, you were like the perfect you were the perfect housewife. I mean, like stay-at-home mom. I mean, you had everything dialed in. Your house was perfect. Everything was immaculate. Everything, your kids were perfect. Everything was perfect. That's what I remember about Crystal.
I love that. That's what you remembered. That's not at all. So let me just fill everybody in. I'm now divorced from that. Not because of all that, but he was a home builder. So we moved 7 times in 8 years. So the reason the house probably looked perfect is probably because it was on the market. That's probably why. We were constantly on the market. We were constantly moving. But um, that's funny that you say that because yeah, if it's on the market, it's always going to look clean because you're always anyway. So if you fast forward I don't know, a couple years, we lived there 9 years total. I think you lived there, I don't know.
7 years. We were there 7 years. Yeah.
So fast forward, and somehow I ended up starting a cleaning business. And I don't really remember how that went. I think someone asked, do you know anybody that cleans, one of the homeowners or something? And I said, I mean, I'll do it because I'll literally do anything. I'll try anything anyway. Um, so that started me getting houses to clean. I started cleaning houses just because the kids were in school and I was a full-time stay-at-home mom and it was good money.
And
And
it's a gift of yours. You're like, "Oh, I can clean houses. Oh, I'll do it. Well, how much you want to pay me? Yeah, I'm going to do that."
love the whole ambiance of hospitality. I love it all. I will put a mint on your pillow and triangle toilet paper. I don't like to clean, but I like to do the fluffing stuff. So that led me, I got more houses than I could handle. And so I needed a partner. And I went through one partner, which didn't go, that doesn't sound right. She moved, she helped, and then she had to move, she moved away. So I needed another partner. And I asked around if anyone was even willing to, because I mean, who wants to really clean houses and scrub toilets? But I asked our mutual friend first, and she was like, "No, that's not my gig at all. But maybe ask Sandy." And I said, "All right, I'll ask Sandy." Sandy said yes, and the next week we had matching tracksuits. We got this done. We knocked it out. We cleaned houses. We then got the gig. We were cleaning. We were doing turn down service. We were warming up hot tubs. We were, I feel like we were doing awesome. I mean, we could have been as big. We could have done as much. Nobody else was doing this, so we could have done as much as or as little as we wanted. Don't you
But
think? I feel like
but
that.
what was our name? We were the Dust Dollies,
We were the
and we had the cutest little skunk logo that with the little French apron with the duster over the flower. And we left our clients every time we serviced their house. We left them a little
because
gift
I
with
love all
their
the hospitality things.
yes,
So we had little cards that was
little
like your next cleaning is because we wanted to lock them in too. We were like, you're not. We're gonna keep this gig as long as we can.
yeah.
And then we started leaving them on trinkets. We would get whatever the season was. We would get little pumpkins
We
and
started with vases. We started with vases with just one flower that we cut from the side of the road on the way there. But may or may not have been somebody's house. But anyway, that's me. We didn't have florists. Come on, we had to do what we had to do.
that's very true. Yeah, that was very true. Or we would get pine cones from the side of the road and then we would glitter them.
Yes, but the pumpkins, I think the little mini pumpkins were my favorite, where we stuck the card in the stem.
Find something, whatever seasonal. We would leave our card with that inside the stem or the pine cone or leaning against the vase with fresh wildflowers, whatever. And that, I mean, that little thing,
Our little calling card.
I feel like that's why people, I don't know, maybe I just tell myself, and it's been some years since we did that, but I feel like people really enjoyed it.
And
I think,
our best friends were our clients. A lot of our best friends.
yeah. And then we turned our cards into magnets because let's get real, we wanted to make sure we stayed right there front and center
On the fridge.
on the fridge.
But then they got the stainless and that didn't stick anymore. It was a little difficult.
And this is PS. This is magnets we made ourselves, and we did all of this ourselves.
Yeah, because we lived in Ruidoso.
So we had themes. So we would come up with themes. We're still doing to this day. We had St. Patrick's Day where we did green tracksuits. We were like little leprechauns running around town with these.
And mind you, the only place we could find the matching tracksuits was at Walmart. So when we'd go take the kids to school on our day off. Did we have a day off? I'm not sure. But
it was in Facebook then. I wish I had a picture of us in these tracksuits taken to school.
I felt like Charlie's Angels. But there was just two of us.
How we envision it and what people saw probably
was very different.
We would drop them off at school, just like chipper. So Sandy was a cheerleader. And let me just tell you, you're never going to find her not smiling ever. You'd be like, Sandy, this, sucks. Oh, no, it's fine. This is going to be good. We're going to do this. It's going to
be good.
So if you drop your kids off at school in matching tracksuits at 8 in the morning and you're smiling, it's going to take some people off. But
we didn't care.
So then life took us across. We both had to leave the village. We had to sell the company.
Well, we did. Let's just talk real for a second, because my husband, one day when the girls and I were at lunch, we went to lunch, and then on the way home for lunch, I got a phone call and he told me he was laid off. And I'm like, wait, what? We're now married, I don't even know, 20 some years probably. And this wasn't a thing. But
resort community. This isn't, you can't just go get a job. This isn't
This is right at the time where the economy was crashing. Mm-hmm. And so we were, our house was, he actually had taken a job off of the mountain, but we are still there until we sold our home. And he then tells me that he just got laid off from his new job. So anyway, we stuck it out for a year, and he started doing cabinets with our friend Kate, Sean Mowdy, and I took a job I was doing dust dollies and took a job with Starbucks, which and we did
Starbucks. That was a big thing.
We got a Starbucks, and I was like, oh, thank God, I had my own espresso business. I can do this. And so I went in there, and they didn't even remember this. I put in an application. I had this is a small town. You don't have a lot of good quality employee candidates, I should say. I'm not sure how to, any qualified people. I knew how to make espresso. I had my own espresso business for 6 years. I came from Seattle, for crying out loud, and where Starbucks it started. And I dropped off a application, and I never got even a call. And I was like, what? How did I not get a call for this? And so I went and talked to the gal, and she goes, oh, well, you said you couldn't work Sundays, so I didn't call you. I'm like, well, I said I prefer not to work Sundays because church was important to us, right? And I'm like, that's not, that's not a deal breaker.
More days. Let's go.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I ended up getting a job. She did hire me. That was the right move for her. And
Best thing they ever did.
oh, Seattle Sandy, the coffee lady of Amarillo, Texas.
It's a good move. Power play.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, Starbucks, Dust Dollies, and then we finally were like, okay, so we're gonna lose this house, and we still don't have a job, and so if we're gonna lose the house, we might as well just move home. So that's when my husband and I decided pack up our 3 kids, and we had all our money that we had, got 1 truck, sold everything else, and moved back to Seattle. So
yeah, y'all left. It just all came crashing down. It was everyone started dropping like flies. That's we were not too long after you.
you took our dog. You took our dog. Yeah. We couldn't even take the dog because we didn't know where we were going to live.
Yeah, we took the dog, Sparky.
Oh.
So same time frame, 2008, market goes down, and we were sued. We were sued heavily, like pretty bad in the home building industry, to the tune of about $97,000 that we had to write a check for. So we had to sell everything. We had to liquidate. And at that point, that's when my then husband said, "Where, if you could go anywhere, where would you want to go?" I said, "Well, I'm going to go to the beach. That's just, I don't understand this question because that's where I'd go." So we liquidated every single thing. We packed 1 suitcase, bought a one-way ticket to Maui with 2 kids. Again, no job, no house, no idea what we're doing, but we took off. So we left the mountain and we went to the beach and did that for a little bit until until that marriage ended and dissolved, and then it was time for chapter 2, which lands me in Northwest Arkansas with 3 more children, which are triplets.
Quickly.
And my sweet, sweet husband of now 11 years. And then the boys, we have triplet boys that will be 10 this week. When this airs, they will already be 10. So they'll be 10-year-old triplet boys. So if anyone has any extra prayers, I would appreciate it.
We got you.
But that leads, so Sandy and I never lost contact. We continued either meeting up and, doing out, we would either do little getaways she would come here when I was pregnant. You had
the baby. Well, they were little. I came for a wedding and I came to see you.
I remember because I have pictures of you reading to the boys.
But before you had the babies, you had the babies. I did come to Texas though. We went to the that one hotel. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we met with more live. And then I went out to Seattle a couple times. So we never left. We never lost contact. We stayed either praying for each other, laughing with each other,
crying with each other
over the last decade. Then a month or so ago, I had a couple glasses of wine. So they had been tugging at my heart for the last year. You should do a podcast. You should do a podcast. And I kept thinking, what in the world would I do a podcast for? What, like, why? What? Nobody cares what I have to say. You should do a podcast. And it came to the point where I thought, if I could do what creatively, what could I do that I want to just touch on? What do I want to learn? And it kept coming up. You should do a podcast. Should do a that tugging at the heart that we all know and love, and we're just like, Lord, no, I'm not. This is not for me. It kept on. So fast forward, and I had a couple glasses of wine. Sandy and I were texting, and I texted her and said, "Hey, I have an idea, but I don't want to do it with anyone else but you, because what I want to talk about, I feel like you. Well, first of all, I just love hanging out with Sandy. So then there's that. But I wanted to specifically talk about raising young adults, getting them to adulthood, and that was where I have a lot of friends with a lot of kids, and I love all of them, and they're all great. But I wanted Sandy to be a part of it. I just love the way Sandy parents. All her kids are adults now, and her story. Each of them have. I mean, they're so different. The stories that you have. So I just knew what you were bringing to the table was far more greater than what I was bringing to the table.
No, it's different. It's different.
Let me pray about it. That's what she said, which is what everybody wants to hear. You're like, no, just say yes and just go. So she said, let me pray about it. So which I'm not very patient, and God knows that. So he said, and then you're going to let her pray about it, and you're going to sit on it some more. So we sat on it for another little bit. Like I don't know, a good month.
It was, yeah, it was wow.
Praying. Are we done praying?
Where are we? Where are we at?
Yeah. But I didn't want to be, so I just kept waiting. I thought, okay. And every now and then I would get this, you're gonna do a podcast. This is what's gonna happen. All right. Well, I mean, I don't know how to do a podcast. I don't even know how to record. This right now is being recorded by you because I don't know what I'm doing. And I kept on. Then she came back and she said, okay, I do feel like when you mentioned it, what did you say? I got a flutter in my heart. What did you say?
My heart was pounding, and that's what happens to me. I mean, I'm sure it happens to everybody. But when something's happening that God wants me to do, my heart starts to really pound, and I know that's the Holy Spirit, like bubbling up inside.
This time I'm like, no, because usually it's pushing you out of your comfort zone. For me, anyway.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
You gotta go and you gotta learn, and then you gotta do. It's just a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
It's like that Beth Moore story where he told her to go brush that guy's hair.
Oh yeah. She's like, no, Lord.
You go brush the hair. So when she said she got that feeling in her heart started coming up, it's like, oh, this is gonna happen. Oh, yeah. It's coming. It's coming because you can't. Nobody's denying that.
Nobody. Mm-mm. And so, you just do. And I knew, and I'm like you. I mean, I love hanging out with Crystal. We have so much fun together. We laugh and we get each other. And but there is a lot of people out there that don't really have a lot of friends, they don't have the support that they need, or, people have friends, but maybe still don't feel supported. They don't feel like they're included. They don't feel like they're a part of something. And we just want everybody, I think we've talked about it, and we just want everybody to know that you're not alone. Everybody feels what you're feeling. Everybody has doubts. Everybody has worries. Life is hard. I mean, life is just hard. And when you're a parent, it's twice, 20 times as hard. And we just want to be here to walk alongside you and give you our tips of how we've done and how we've made it through. And just want you to know that everything's figure outable. Everything is figure outable. You'll be able to work it out, and just know that you're supported, and we're here.
Yes, we have 8 kids total, but 5 of those 8 are already adults. They're already contributing members to society.
Yes.
So 5, and the only reason the other 3.
I mean, contributing. I mean, they are. We're not going to say they're all out there moving mountains, but they're living, and they're
they're contributing members to society. They're living.
Yes.
They're not letting life happen for them. So so between the 8, you guys are not going to believe the stories that we have. and then how we even got these kids this far
Yeah.
is we have some really fun and scary and a lot of praying stories.
Yes. And we had help along the way.
All boys except one girl. I
Yeah.
have the only girl, and the rest, all 7 of the other ones are all boys. So Lord,
Help
y'all,
us.
if you got a boy, we have either heard it, lived it, prayed about it, tucked the bones back in, and kept on going. So
Yes.
yeah, we are here for you, and we hope that's our plan for this podcast is to bring you some um just some friendship and some inspiration.
A little bit of wisdom, a little bit of fun, a little bit of laughs.
Hopefully a lot of laughs.
Yeah.
Sprinkled with Sandy's strength. So she's Greek. I don't think you didn't say that at the beginning.
No, I was born into a Greek family, that's for sure. My mom was Norwegian, but Greek way outweighed the Norwegian.
And she loved all the things that you're thinking right now. That's what she loves. She loves all the food, the family, the wine, all of it, the togetherness.
You see
So,
his nose? Oh, you can't see it. Never mind.
well, they can on the video, not on the audio. So sprinkled with some of her food recipes, her gathering tips, and then I love, y'all know with triplets, I had to figure out my
Self-care.
keep myself sane. So I've been on a personal growth, self-love monk journey for the last 2 years, which I really feel like I could when I get these kids grown, I'm gonna go visit a monk retreat. I'm gonna go to a monk retreat. I think I could be a monk. I think I'd be really good
Can you
at
be
it.
quiet that long?
Yeah,
Don't you have to be quiet? Hmm.
yeah.
Hmm.
I only talk people are talking to me.
I'd have a problem with that.
I think I could be quiet. More importantly, I think I could call.
No. I think you'd be like me. We'd be over like, shh, did you see that one?
I
What are they
probably
doing
wonder
over
how
there?
much longer I need to be quiet, but I could do it. I would
I'd be trying to get eye contact with somebody that wanted to talk to me.
really. So I found meditation in the last year, a little over a year, and I cannot tell you what that has done for me. I got Gammy meditating. She's taking 6-minute naps. She'll tell you all day long. It's a game changer. It's done so much for me. So anyway, that's what I want to share. It are some tips for that. Sandy's got your food and your festivities. She's getting you hyped up. I'm calming you down. And then together, getting all these kids raised and out the door so that you can then, take some comfort that you didn't do it alone. You
Yeah.
don't have to do it alone. And you can do it. P.S. Just
P.S. You can do it. And you
and
got backup.
yes, we are the backup.
Yeah.
Whether you
We're
like
the
it or
village. We're the village.
we're the village that everyone keeps talking about, but they're not showing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't they say you need it, but where are they? Well, we're here.
God said, all right, I'm gonna let y'all get through this, and I'm gonna put you out there to the sharks to see if you can help anyone else. So to wrap all this up, I have one question I'm gonna ask you, Sandy. If you could, okay, let me rephrase this. What's the one thing that you could not live without right now, today?
My family.
And what? No, thing, not people.
Oh, thing. Sunshine. I do love sunshine. I walk on it. I live on it. It's just in me. Oh, well, because God's a person. So I mean, I would say God first, but yeah. Sunshine, is that a thing?
Yeah, it's a thing, sure.
Yeah. Okay, that's me. I'm
Sunshine.
walking on sunshine. That's my theme song. You know that. Katrina and the Waves. Walking on sunshine.
I love it. I love sunshine. I love the vitamin D.
Yeah. Well, I'm from the Northwest, so we don't get a lot of it here. So, I mean, if it wasn't wrong, I probably would be a sun worshiper. Probably.
Is it wrong? If it's wrong,
Well,
right.
you can't have any other idols. So.
And you're talking on me now. You're sorry.
I'm like, oh, sunshine.
Yeah,
Okay. So
I
I'm
do.
turning it on you. Are you answering that question?
Sure. Um, hmm, that's a tough one. Right now,
But you
you
already had time to think about it, so
know,
that's not
I
even fair.
really do, because that's the joy of me. I'm only right here. I don't think
You were focused on me answering the question?
this is my husband's. If he ever admitted a pet peeve, he's too nice to say it, but this is his biggest pet peeve. You're only right, like right here. You're not thinking about every night. Let me just sidetrack here. Every night we sit down and watch. We have like 2 or 3 shows we watch together, and he'll get it ready, and he'll say, "Are you ready for this?" And I'll say, "I don't." You'll have to remind me what we're doing because I don't remember the show. I can't look at the picture and tell you what it's about. You got to give me something because I only think about it right now, and then when I walk away,
Oh, you
I,
forgot what the last episode was? Is it you need a recap?
yeah.
Okay.
So I wouldn't. So I wrote this question down an
Hmm.
hour ago, and then I never thought about it again until just right now. That's
Okay. So what could you not live with?
back to that.
Hmm.
Right now, I would have to say so. You know this. I've been obsessed with my handwriting and
Hmm.
lettering. So right now it would be all of my pens that I just got, which is
Mm.
a silly thing, but it brings me so much joy that I'm just going to stick with it
Yeah,
because
that's what you gotta do.
it changes all the time. But
Yeah.
right now, in this last week of school, the
Hmm.
handwriting is calming for me. So that's bringing me joy. So I would say that.
And I
That's
think that's kind of one of the things is
a very serious question though to say pens.
that's okay. No, no. What honestly,
Radio, I don't know. Cell service in
no,
case of a storm. I
no,
feel like
stop,
that's a responsible
stop.
thing to
No,
say.
because it's what brings you joy. That's the key.
Uh,
What brings you joy? And that's what the whole thing is you got to find joy in the midst of all of it. The good, the bad, the ugly, the hard, that's what you got to do is you got to find your joy. And yours right now, the joy is, I mean, obviously it's your kids and your family and all that, but the
yeah,
other thing you can do is your handwriting and that brings you joy.
yeah, I do love it. I do love it. It is calming, and I like to see the progress that I've made. I don't. That's not even a word. Made, just because it shows me how far I've come. Also,
Hmm. Hmm.
I'll never. So, do you? You may not remember this. I'll never. Every time I say it reminds me how far we've come. I think of you, because there was a time many years ago, 100 years ago, we were sitting in a restaurant with a friend that was renewing her vows. She was doing something, and she wanted a bigger diamond. She wanted another diamond. She wanted something changed with her wedding ring.
Mm.
And I remember you saying, she said, I remember her going, I want something different because I want to know where we're going. I want room for upgrades. And I remember you saying, no, I want to leave my ring the same because I want to remember where we came from.
Mm.
And every time I say that, I think of you. Because I'm
Mm.
like, I want to see how far we've come. I want to see what all where we started and where we're at now.
Yeah. I mean, but that's your whole journey though, right? I mean, it's like where you came from, where you're at now, and where you're going. So those
Yeah,
are, it's all part of it. Um,
yeah,
I tend to kind of hold on to memories, and I love that. I'm traditional, so I love all of that. I'm more of a here and past person than a future person. I don't really think ahead too much.
yeah.
I'm not really a planner. I hate to say that. I'm just not. But
I mean, sometimes what's the point? Because I mean, you're just the here and the now is where the magic is.
yeah, yeah. I live in the moment and what's happening right now. And I cling to the past and where we've been. I love that. I love memories. I love pictures. I love
Yeah.
all
I
of
can
that.
tell you in my memory it's not great. And I can tell you exactly where we were sitting when you said that. Like
I don't even remember that.
no, I knew you didn't. And I won't remember tomorrow. But I remember how we were sitting, like the where we were sitting at the table.
What restaurant were we?
It was that one we only had two. It was that one that we went
Mexican?
to it was Mexican restaurant we went to for all celebrations because it was the one
Oh,
nicer.
oh, over, yeah. Okay.
We had like indoor outdoor seating,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
and anytime something was going on, which we made an excuse to find all the time,
yeah.
something Tuesday, well, that starts with the T, so we should celebrate.
Celebrate. We have to celebrate because that's all we have.
That's all we have. So we'd go to that restaurant, and it was there. It was at that restaurant.
Okay.
I do, but anyway, I always think of that when I say that. I want to see where I come from. I want to see how far I've come.
That's
Oh,
funny.
yeah. Anyway, so I hope I don't know how to wrap this up. I guess we just say we hope if you specifically want us to talk about something, we have a list that we're going to go down on our topics. But if somebody out there has a need or a desire or a wish for us to chat about, we would love to hear that. You can comment or text us or find us, because I'm sure the first few episodes is going to be Gammy and our friends that listen to this. Until then,
But we'll be on Facebook Live and we'll be on
we're going live.
yes, and our website, and we'll be on Facebook.
We're doing all the things.
Yeah.
We'll link it in the comments for all
Yeah.
this. So until next time.
Yes, friends, we're just glad you're here, and we can't wait to see you again or hear you again or be with you again next time.
Thanks, guys. Bye. I think that was good. We don't even have to edit it.
No, I mean, I can't stop recording, but